My name is Jessica May and I am 23. I finished my studies last year. I graduated from RMIT and I've started work with a Australian production house. So I went to TAFE and I got a diploma of screen and media, and then I did the certificate 4 of screen and media, I think. And then I jumped up to university and did a Bachelor of Communications in Media, all at RMIT. So all up it was about 4 years of higher ed study. I studied media at high school, which sort of made me fall in love with working behind a camera and that sort of thing, and made me really want to progress in that field. My first year of TAFE, I signed up to RMITV. It was the main reason I chose RMIT. And I've been a huge part of that community. It's been so much fun and it's a big part of my life. It's really difficult to leave that as well. So working in outside broadcast and working in sport, that's not really something that's covered by the university, and we don't really have any OB shows at RMITV, and I thought it was a big area that we're kind of missing out on training students. So we've set up a training show where everyone on the show is new, all just green kids who want to sort of get that experience and maybe find out that this is something they want to pursue as their career. So we're shooting a game called Swordcraft, which is you dress up in armor and you fight with foam swords. And it's a lot of fun, and it's a lot of fun to watch, and so that gave us the idea and make a good show. So we're going to commentate it and treat it like it's the AFL. So a lot of those kids, they're coming in, and some of them it's their first show, some of them they've done some other stuff beforehand. The main thing that I want them to get out of it is I want them to do a role and go, you know what, this isn't for me. Because to me that's what university is, that's what RMITV is. It's about experimenting and then finding out what suits and finding out what doesn't. And it's a safe place to do so. The show will probably not really work. I don't care. As long as all those kids come out of it with an idea of, okay, well next time we're going to put this together and we're going to do this differently. I did a show, my first show, produced it, I was second week in or whatever. It was terrible. It was such a bad show. I don't understand how the pilot just didn't work. And I learnt more from doing that show than I did doing anything in film school, because at film school it all works because you have to make it work because, you know, it's your final film or whatever. Whereas this, you can let something fail, and I think you learn a lot more out of it. I'm a Swordcrafter. I play that game, and I also love AFL and I love sport. And so sort of combining TV and sport and letting these kids do what I get to do at work, hopefully they'll learn a lot from it. It's called Swordcraft TV, because then we can shorten it to SCTV. We do have a Facebook page, which is, I think, just Swordcraft TV. It's mainly to get talent, people interested in being on camera. It's going to just air on the internet. We're going to put it on the RMIT YouTube channel. We're just streaming it live. I'm not even going to be there. I work. So it's kind of like that's a legit sort of pass off to these kids. Good luck, guys. I'm not there to help you. I work for Gearhouse Broadcast, and it just gives me an excuse to work on sports. So I get to work with Channel 7 and I get to work with Fox and V8 TV. And it's everything I wanted to do. The big one we just did the racing. So the horse racing for Channel... Yep. Okay. Melbourne Cup's one of ours, as is Channel 7's AFL coverage. We've also got the tennis, the V8 supercar races as well. We've got Australia's Got Talent, as well as some odd little ones like the Olympics and those sort of things as well. We can pick up those. So MasterChef, it's kind of a bunch of different productions actually. But yeah, they sort of rent out equipment and sometimes crew, so I get to work on all these different things, which is great because I always wanted to do something different. And it's, you know, I've got basketball this week and next week I'm doing horse racing, and then I've got soccer. I think people spend too much time trying to find the big job, trying to find their big break or you know, that sort of thing. I refuse to believe it exists. I used to, and then I ended up crying every time I didn't get a job because that was my big break. What happened was I needed to do work experience for university, sent the most blunt email I've ever sent in my life to someone I had met once who happened to work for Channel 7, just going, hey, I want to be a producer. Can you put me in contact with a producer? And they just sort of went, yeah, okay, here's this person. So I got to come in and watch the DAs and the producers work, because I loved DAing as well. So I came in on a Sunday morning and saw them and met all them, and I just sort of went, yeah, I learned so much. Can I come back next week? And I just did that for a year. I just came back and I watched them work for a year until there was a runner on the show who got promoted. So the position sort of opened up, and I had sat there. I know the show, I know the people, and they just offered me the job of the runner, which was great. It allowed me to start working with them officially and sort of go into that sort of production area. I don't want to say I kind of decided it's not what I wanted to do, but I kind of fell out of love with it. I wanted to do something a bit more technical. I wanted to do more hands-on stuff. So I talked to one of my TAFE teachers about it, and it turned out Gearhouse were looking for a young person to bring into the company as a full-timer to train them up in audio. They didn't need to know anything about audio. They wanted them fresh. They just needed to be a good learner. They needed to sort of understand TV. And not have any bad habits. And I sort of fit that bill. I talked to Gearhouse. I did a couple of trial shifts. A couple months ago, I started working full-time for Gearhouse. It was just luck and sort of just keeping an open mind about what was available and what I wanted to do.